Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Olipop. Olipop is a new kind of soda with nostalgic taste and a modern twist. And it's low in sugar and contains fiber and botanicals designed to support your gut health. Today, I'm going to be tasting the classic root beer flavor. I love their packaging, so stinking cute with the little mugs of root beer on the front. And let's give it a go. Smells like root beer. Alrighty, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Oh my gosh. It tastes just like the root beer barrels. Do you remember those little candies? It tastes just like that, but in a cool, drinkable form. Olipop comes in dozens of flavors, and you can find them at retailers nationwide, including Walmart, Whole Foods, Costco, and Target. So if you'd like to try Olipop for yourself, you can click the link down below or scan the QR code above. Buy 2 Olipops and they will pay you back for 1. Any flavor, any retailer. Big thanks to Olipop for sponsoring this video and for their continued support so I can make better videos for all of you. Alrighty, my lovelies, today we're going to be making a recipe out of this cookbook that lovely Travis sent me many years ago. This was in 2020, he sent this to me. And it's Favorite Recipes, Indian Community Food Advisors. So this was given to communities on the reservation using food from the commissary. So foods that Native peoples were not familiar with, including flour, baking soda, and dried eggs, dehydrated milk. Those foods and provisions were given to Native peoples, and this is one of the cookbooks that was given to assist people with using ingredients that they were not necessarily familiar with. Travis said he had this for over 30 years. There's no publishing date on this, but based on the font style and the information provided, look at this. This is like dot matrix printed. This is, I'm guessing, from the 80s or 90s. There's contact information, addresses, names, back when people communicated a lot more by snail mail. But in here contain lots of budget-friendly recipes using commissary ingredients like fry bread. If you haven't seen my fry bread recipe, I'll put a link to it down below. I made it many years ago. It's not this recipe, but it's very similar. More recently, I did a recipe called bread in a bag. I'll put a link to that one down below. This one was included in this book as well. You can just mix everything to make a batch of bread dough in a bag. Very convenient. But today, I'm going to be making this recipe, which is the very first recipe in this book, and it's called Master Mix. There it is, whole wheat Master Mix. And I was very intrigued by it because I've never heard of Master Mix before, but essentially it's a version of homemade Bisquick or Jiffy Mix. You can buy it at the supermarket in a box. It contains flour, salt, some kind of leavening, usually baking powder, and you can use this baking mix to make all sorts of different things, including waffles, pancakes, pizza dough, biscuits. All kinds of bread products can be made with this one mix or master mix. It's actually quite ingenious. You can keep this mix around and make all sorts of different things. So depending on the interest, I thought this might become a new series called the Master Mix series because you can make so many things with this mix, including pizza, scones, biscuits, casseroles. I'm going to be making an impossible pie today. You can make cookies, you can make gravy, all kinds of bread products using this one mix that's very easy to put together and quite budget friendly. So this particular recipe is a whole wheat recipe. It uses half whole wheat, half all-purpose flour. I'm going to make mine 100% all-purpose flour. It's going to be lighter that way. It's going to be more similar to Bisquick mix. Whole wheat flour is considered to be more nutritious because it contains the bran or the outside of the wheat kernel, but it does tend to be quite dense. When you make breads, the breads tend to be pretty dense and stodgy, and I want something lighter. I want something that tastes more like Bisquick. So I'm gonna do what it recommends. It says 8 cups of all-purpose flour may be used in place of the whole wheat. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is pretty budget friendly. We're going to end up with about 9 or 10 cups of this master mix, and it's going to run about $4 depending on how much you pay for your flour and the other ingredients. So this particular master mix contains 6 ingredients, and when I looked up other recipes, some do not contain dry milk powder. This one does, and when I looked up Bisquick, that does not contain any milk powder. This one does, so that adds a little bit more nutrition, a little bit more protein. In my great big bowl here, I'm going to add 8 cups of flour. If you want to make a whole wheat version, just substitute half whole wheat. But your mix is going to be denser. It's going to be heavier. So this is about 2 pounds of flour. So quite a lot of mix. To that, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 1/3 cups of dry milk powder. Oh, this only contains 5 ingredients because I'm not using whole wheat flour. Now we're going to do baking powder. We need 1/4 cup of that. Oh, perfect. I have like the perfect amount of baking powder. Mine's a little bit crumbly, but we'll be all right. And I'm going to break up these pieces of baking powder. With my impeccably clean hands, whenever I cook, I always wash my hands beforehand, as you should too. This food safety is a real thing. All right, so breaking that up, in fact, rather than using this, I'm just going to use my hands to crush things up. So the last thing we're going to add to this is a source of fat, and that is shortening. When I read the ingredients for the Bisquick mix, it uses vegetable oil. So the oil, or the fat in this recipe, is what's going to make this go bad. So it's recommended that you store this in the refrigerator after the first month. So you can store it in the pantry, but especially if you live in a hot climate, you can store this in a cool place, or preferably in the refrigerator, because there's no preservatives in this. We're just using flour, salt, baking powder, dry milk, and some shortening. Okay, now we're going to add 1.5 cups of vegetable shortening. So I'm just going to cut this in, and this will make the mixture kind of crumbly. And this is what will make your biscuits taste richer, as any of the other pastries that we make from this as well. Oh, never fails. All right, so now we're just going to squeeze this in until it creates a crumbly mixture, kind of sandy mixture. And that's it. We're just going to mix it, and that's the master mix. Now I'm imagining, because this is a utilitarian mixture, it's not going to make the most perfect Neapolitan style pizza crust. It can't, because this is a mixture that's used to make multiple things. It's not going to make the most perfect, the crispest waffles. But my oven is preheated. But it's going to make something that still tastes good and homemade. Today I'm going to be using this master mix to make an impossible cheeseburger pie. Now I have made an impossible cheeseburger pie with a different recipe. I'll put a link to that video down below. Today I'm going to be using the recipe that's on Bisquick's site. I'm just curious about it. It only has a handful of ingredients, and what really intrigues me about it is the name, Impossible, because it's one of these recipes where you pour the batter on the top and it makes its own crust. It's a self-crusting pie because the crust goes to the bottom and forms its own crust for the pie, which is great. No need to roll out dough, create a dough for your pie, because this will make it for you. Okay, so we are there. Everything is finely mixed in. Wasn't much work at all. And that's it. This is our master mix. So I've got my saute pan heating up here. I'm going to chop up 1 large onion or 2 small ones. And so I just sliced my onion in half from stem to root. So the root holds it all together. Then we're going to slice this way, following the root, but not going all the way through, just from here to here, like this, like this, like this. Then you just cut this way. It works out just fine. Isn't that great? So I don't know if you'll see. Right? And you just get a perfectly fine chop. All right, into my preheated pan, I've got about a tablespoon of oil. All right, I lied. Just give it a little bit of a chop, just so everything's of the same size. Chopped pretty finely into the pan. And we're just going to cook these till they soften, and then we're going to add 1 pound of ground beef. So I'm going to saute those up a bit. A little bit of salt. Now we're going to add 1 pound of ground beef. Break that up a bit. I'm going to add some pepper too. Add plenty of black pepper. we're just gonna break this up, and if we have any excess grease, we're gonna pour that off. So I'll come back once this is all cooked up, and we'll know that once the meat is no longer pink and everything has a kind of gray color to it, we know that the meat is cooked. All right, be right back. Alrighty, so now that our meat and onions have been browned up, we're going to make the crust or batter. We've got a half cup of our master mix into the bowl, a teaspoon of oil, 2 eggs, and a cup of milk. Just gonna whisk that all together and make our batter. Okay, that's it. A very loose, thin kind of pancake batter. Now we've got a glass pie dish. Let's spray that. And then we're gonna add our browned up meat. And I already drained all the fat off. Almost forgot to add a teaspoon of salt to the meat. Next, we sprinkle on a cup of shredded cheese. This is sharp cheddar. And this is the pre-shredded stuff. But if you have time to shred your cheese, by all means. Now we're going to add our batter right to the top. Now, this goes into a preheated 400-degree oven to cook for about a half an hour, or until we poke a knife into it and it comes out clean. Then you let it rest for about 10 minutes before you serve it. So I'll be back in about 40 minutes and we can taste our impossible cheeseburger pie. Okay, lovelies, see you in a little bit. Into the oven. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back with my impossible cheeseburger pie. And look at it, doesn't it look great? I topped it with a little bit of green onion to brighten things up, and doesn't it look great? Can't really tell what's going on, but it does look like the crust has crusted and the cheese has definitely browned on top, but it smells great. So let's give it a taste. It's kind of got the consistency of a quiche a little bit. Alrighty, let's see if we can get a slice out. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Boom. Comes out beautifully. Let's see the crust. Did it make a crust? I don't know. I don't really see a crust. It looks like the batter kind of just went in all the nooks and crannies between the beef and onion, right? I don't really see a crust. Although on the side it does look kind of crust-like. Alrighty, let's give it a taste. Itadakimasu. Oh, so hot. It's pretty good. It reminds me of a breakfast strata. You know that casserole where you put sausage meat and eggs and shredded frozen hash browns all together? It tastes like that. I think the egg in the batter is reminding me of that. And there's plenty of meat in there. It's so hot. It doesn't taste like a cheeseburger though. But I do like the cheese broiled on top. It does form almost a crust on top. It's great. It gives that edge of the grilled cheese kind of toasted cheese flavor. You know what I mean? The ground beef is well seasoned with the onion. Very simple flavors. Good balance of salt. I think what I'm missing in terms of my cheeseburgerness is some condiments. So I'm going to add some ketchup and some yellow mustard. Add that to the mix and see if it tastes more like a cheeseburger to me. Oh, 100%. Oh my gosh. Wowzers. That's kind of amazing how much that makes it instantly cheeseburger for me, or just burger. Yes, that combination of condiments, the sweet and tangy combination of vinegar, sugar, tomato, mustard, immediately makes this taste like a burger without a bun. It's great. Without the condiments, it's fine, but doesn't really taste like a burger to me. But once you add that little bit of ketchup and mustard, burger! Terrific and super easy to make, very budget friendly. I would say sauteing the onions and beef and making the batter mix probably takes about 10 minutes. Put this in the oven for about a half an hour, and then you've got dinner in less than an hour. Easy. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it, the Impossible Cheeseburger Pie made with a homemade master mix. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more master mix recipes. There are so many recipes, both savory and sweet. Cinnamon rolls, biscuits, scones, so many things. More impossible pies. I'm curious about it, but let me know what you think, or if you have a favorite one for that matter. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to Olipop for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try Olipop for yourself, you can buy 2, and Olipop will pay you back for 1, any flavor, any retailer. You can click the link down below or scan the QR code above. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! It's hamburger, but not. I was going to say hamburger without the burger, but there's definitely burger in there. There's no bun, but it's tasty. Where are the fries? Where are my impossible fries?